All right, welcome to another Unit 1 video, your fourth video on dividing. So today we're really dividing monomials, but we can divide polynomials, and we will get to that in the future. So when we're dividing a monomial, so that's one term here, this is a monomial, into a polynomial, this bottom one has to divide into each one of them. Okay, so when we do this, we can almost write it as a separate problem, as three separate problems. So it's 9x to the fourth, y to the fifth z, divided by 6x squared y squared, minus 18x cubed y cubed, divided by 6x squared y squared, and then plus 6x squared y squared, divided by 6x squared y squared. Okay, now this is where our dividing of exponents come in. Okay, when you divide exponents, or when you divide bases, you divide the coefficients, and then you subtract the exponents. So the first thing we see here is, oh great, these don't divide evenly. 6 does not divide into 9. Okay, so what you do is you simply reduce. So you say, okay, 9 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So I say 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 6 twice. So for this answer, the coefficient is 3 over 2. Okay, and then we subtract our exponents. So we have 4 and 2 on the x's, so we subtract those and we get x squared. And subtract the y's, y cubed, and z is left. Now you could write this particular term, and I'm just going to write it up here so you can see. They mean the same thing. These can be written on the top here if you want. So it could be 3x squared, y cubed z all over 2. These mean the exact same thing. This and this mean the same thing. So it's really up to you if you how you write it, but know that the coefficient, even this one and this one, is still 3 over 2. Okay, and then we divide. So the 6 goes into 18 3 times, or you can say it goes into negative 18 3 times. X cubed and x squared, so that's just x, and that's just y. Now this is 6x squared y squared divided by itself. Anything divided by itself is 1. It is not 0, it is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. Awesome. All right. Okay, there's this problem now. You are dividing by a binomial, so this is technically a binomial here, but it is a factor of each one of the terms on the top. So technically, it's just a factor. It's not really dividing in the binomial sense like we're going to do in the future. Remember, sometimes it makes it easier if you say use substitution. You say a equals x minus 2, and each one of these would be an a. And you can see that more clearly, that it's like 6x squared a plus 2xa minus a all over a. You can see more clearly that it's really, you're just going to cross it out, basically. You're just going to divide it out in each one of the terms. So you don't have to write it like this, like we did every time, where we write each factor over each term over the divisor. I like to do also something I call loops, where you just kind of say, okay, make sure that you divide that a into 6x squared a, and the a's cancel out in that particular one, so we're just left with 6x squared. This one, the a's cancel out in the second one, and you're just left with 2x. And here, remember, a divided by a, or in this case, x minus 2 divided by x minus 2, is still just negative 1, because of this negative here. Now, if there was an a left, if there was x minus 2 anywhere in this problem, I would have to replace it with the x minus 2. Awesome. All right, down here, this is a different way of giving you a division problem. So with this particular problem, it's saying fill in the blank so the equation is an identity. So it's basically saying, I want this, 4x times what would give me that? Well, you know that multiplication is the inverse of division, and vice versa, because you know when you solve an equation, you divide by 4. when you multiply, when you have like 4x equals 8, here, let's write that out. If I have 4x equals 8, if I simply divide by the 4, I get what x is equal to, correct? So it's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. I just wanted, it's 4x times what? I don't know what it is. It's probably bigger than 2, but if I simply divide by 4x, I get the solution I'm looking for. So it's 12x cubed y squared over 4x plus, you can either do loops or I'm just going to write this out. It's just easier. It's less messy for me, so you can see more clearly. But you could just do your loops and do the division. Just be careful. Make sure you divide each one separately and you don't lose a number. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. Remember, the exponent on the 4x is a 1. So it's 3x squared y squared. This one is 4 divided by 4 is 1. So you can either write the 1 or leave it. X 2 minus 1 is 1. And then y. Y is not doing anything there. And then 8 divided by, well, negative 8 divided by 4 is 2. And x divided by x goes away. So this is what the answer is. It's 3x squared y squared plus xy minus 2. So 4x times this, and if you want to, you can go back and distribute it through to make sure your answer is correct. Awesome. All right. Have a good week. Have a good day.